everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang. Story time on how my dad mistress murdered my mom. This is gonna be a long video, so buckle up. I'm gonna do my nails because I'm a little bit nervous to say that story. So here we go. My dad met my mom when she was 18, and my grandma didn't like him for her, but she still chooses him anyway, which was her biggest mistake. And they decided to start dating, and she moved in with him. He had like a 1-bedroom apartment, so she moved in with him, and a year later she had me. And after she had me, she had like a best friend, but the best friend was jealous of her and decided to cheat. She cheated with my dad and had a daughter because she was so jealous that my mom was getting all the attention, receiving gifts for the baby, which was me. So she decided she wanted one too, and she wanted the same man. So he cheated with her and had a daughter, which she's a year old younger than me. And my mom decided to stay with him even after he cheated, which was her biggest mistake. So after she decided to stay with him, he continued to cheat, and 4 years went by. They had my little sister, and after they had her, he was still cheating and went and get another lady pregnant, which was the mistress that I'm gonna tell you about. After she got pregnant, she gave birth to a daughter. And I think a year or two later, he got the same woman pregnant. And then she gave birth to a son. And my mom still stayed. Once a nigga cheat on you, you gotta leave. So that's 3 kids, and she's still staying with him. And I think a few years went by, and he proposed to her. So they decided to get married. After they get married, the mistress kids, he made them stay with us. And while they were staying with us, I guess the mistress wasn't happy that she wasn't the she wasn't the wife. So my mom was the one with the big house, the ring, and all that stuff. So she got jealous and took the kids back. And after that, my dad come here, the United States. After he moved here, I guess the lady did some kind of voodoo to make him obsessed with her. So once he become obsessed with her, everything was, he gave her everything. She was the one giving us money, buying our clothes, and even bringing grocery to the house. And my mom was so angry that she didn't even eat the food that she brought to the house, I mean. So after all that, my older sister, I forgot to mention, my dad had a first daughter before he met her, which she also was staying with us. So the mistress convinced my older sister to get my mom underwear to her. So once she got the underwear, she did some kind of voodoo and put powder. It's like a curse powder. Once that get onto you, any part of your body will start to rot. As you walking, it will start to smell, your leg will swell up. So my mom got that. And once that was starting to affect her, she couldn't work no more. She couldn't take care of us. It was just me and my little sister with her since my dad wasn't in the country. So she couldn't do nothing anymore. So she decided to move in with my grandma. So when she moved in with my grandma, that's when the real problem started. Because the mistress didn't know my mom's full name. If you don't know somebody's full name, you cannot do voodoo on them. So once she learned my mom's full name, that's when she started sending the evil spirit. So she sent some evil spirit on my mom. She was possessed, like really possessed. She was screaming. One of the spirits sounded like a baby, like a real baby. And they had to call the pastor to pray and get the spirit out. And once the spirit is leaving, you have to get away from the front door because you're gonna get possessed next if you're in the front door. So after they chased one spirit, another one came. Like it was back to back to back. Every time they chased one away, another one came. And after, it's like it was a never-ending story. It was a story straight out of a Conjuring movie. She get possessed every single day. And it wasn't enough, but yeah, it was never enough. Every time she get possessed and the pastor chased one away, another one came. And my little sister was 7 at the time, and I was 11. So she was crying because she didn't understand what was wrong with her mom. She was just 7 years old. Watching your mom cry like a real baby was very disturbing. So my grandma decided she did everything she could. She was Christian, so she only believed in God. But sometimes it gets so bad that my grandpa had to step in, which he's not Christian, so he's gonna get his hand dirty by doing the voodoo to try to get her out of this situation. So it was like, in the morning they'll pray. If it doesn't work, the afternoon my grandpa will show up and start doing rituals in the house. They were doing everything they could to get those ghosts out of her. And whenever they question the spirit and ask who sent you, they will say the lady's name, which was the mistress. So every single spirit they question mention the lady's name. And you cannot chase the spirit away if it doesn't tell you their name, or if you don't know the name of the spirit, you cannot chase it away. So it was back to back ghosts being possessed, and all this time my dad wasn't doing nothing. He was like, oh, it's her fault, she asked for it, even though my mom didn't do nothing. She was basically a victim, but he didn't care because the lady also got him under her thumb by doing the voodoo to him also. So all this time, they finally put me in school. I was going to school, and then one day I came back. My grandma took her, I don't even know where she took her because I was so little. I had no idea what was going on. She took her to some kind of location, and she was doing fine. Like, my mom was healing. She was talking. I talked to her on the phone. She was fine. And then, so my mom she was kept getting sick. She'll get better, and then she'll get sick again. And it was really hard to watch. And I had to take her a shower. I was 11 years old. Having to take your mom a shower it'll do something to you. And my dad was constantly saying that she deserved every single thing that's happening to her, even though she didn't do nothing. And since my grandma was Christian, she was bringing pastor in the house. They were praying, using holy oil, which has a very strong smell to it. So they'll do that. And if it doesn't work, the next day my grandpa will show up. He'll bring, he'll do like ritual. He'll have candles, he'll have herbs to try to bring mama back to normal. And then when that didn't work, my grandma took my mom to a church gathering where there's like a lot of pastor and priests gathered to see if they can do something for her. And one of the last spirit that was on her was a cow spirit. She was mooing like a cow, and she even started growing two bald, the size of like this big on her forehead. So she was starting to transform into an actual cow. And so after all that started, my dad called her on the phone. She was starting to get better, but since she was still fragile, my dad called her, and then he started screaming at her, cussing at her. And a vein in her head exploded. She was having a seizure, and since she was already so weak, the doctor couldn't save her, and that was the cause of death. She basically had a vein in her head popped. And after I came back from school, everybody was crying. When I asked what happened, they said my mom died, and my little sister was crying because she couldn't even understand what was happening. She was 7 or 8 years old at that time. So we had to explain to her that she'll never see my mom again, and she couldn't even understand. So after all of that, we did the burial. After we did the burial, the mistress, she went and tried to get my mom's spirit, trying to revive her to make her work in the field. And she failed because she couldn't get my grandma had prayed over the casket. She prayed over it. So anybody that tries, they already prepared for that. I don't know how, but they know that the lady was going to try to do something like that. So they prayed over the casket. So even if the lady tried to summon my mom's spirit, she won't be able to do it. But the lady managed to do it. She summoned my mom's spirit. I heard my mom's spirit slapped her. After she slapped her, the lady started to become really sick. So after she started becoming sick, not even a year or 6 months later after my mom died, the lady also passed away because when she goes to the doctor couldn't see what's wrong with her, so they couldn't treat her for anything. So she ended up dying also 6 months after my mom died. Yeah, after that happened, her kids become orphaned because their mom died and nobody was gonna take care of them because they didn't have no family. So yeah. And after that, my dad was crying on the phone. That's after the lady died because his voodoo was also lifted. So he was able to go back to his senses, but it was already too late. So my mom passed away, and also the lady passed away. So it teach you a lesson. If a man cheated on you, you gotta leave because it's gonna cost you your life someday. So it was a lesson learned.
God dang, that was deep. Ooh, wee. Man, I want to know what that other spirit was because she said they prayed over it. And she tried to go get some put some voodoo on her to make her work in the field. And her spirit guy came out and slapped her, made her sick, and she died 6 months later. That was crazy. Crazy situation. But you know what's crazy is she was talking about the kids as if they weren't her brothers and sisters. Like the kids become orphans. Like y'all not gonna go find y'all. I guess you wouldn't really want them, seeing that what happened, and they probably don't like y'all based on what the mother was probably saying about y'all. So yeah, that could be a thing. Like they could honestly hate y'all, and the dad they could hate the. I don't know. Like that. I wonder what. Let me see if she even mentions that, because that would be something that I would want to know. Like what happened to the because they would be like your brothers and sisters. If the sun. So yeah, she don't really say nothing about it. She also died after giving birth. That's another story time. Ooh, that's another story time for another day. I don't want to cry today. I don't want to cry today. But yeah. Well, that's her with her makeup on. She was a nice looking woman. Shout out to her. But crazy story though. I ain't gonna lie. Very, very, very enticing story. It was taking a while to get there. She said she was doing her nails while she did it, and I was just like, "Ooh, these stories." But it was intriguing. Everyday people. Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.